Rosie O'Donnell announced that she is fleeing the United States. She has fled the United States because Donald Trump won the election and because of everything that's going on right now. This is like a bad sign.
Well, hey everybody, it's me, Rosie O'Donnell, star of the Flintstones. It's Tuesday all day, as my nana would say. And I'm here in Ireland. And it's beautiful and warm, not physically, it's actually quite cold. Moved here on January 15th, and it's been pretty wonderful, I have to say.
I imagine so. I want to listen to the rest of this, but let me just kind of give you like a little bit of information on what happened. Here's a Daily Beast post about the whole thing. Trump reignites Rosie O'Donnell feud with help of Marjorie Taylor Greene's beau. President Trump reignited his longtime feud with O'Donnell on Wednesday with an assist from Marjorie Taylor Greene's MAGA reporter boyfriend. I thought his name was Brian for some reason. The president joked to Ireland Prime Minister Michael Martin he's better off not knowing who O'Donnell is after Brian Glenn, Greene's beau, who works for Real America's Voice, asked Martin why he allowed the comedian to move to his country. That just shows you like the mindset, doesn't it? Why he allowed her to move to his country? Don't people have like rights? Don't people have like due process and everything? I mean, I know that it's different in different countries, but like these are still Western countries with similar values, right? And I've never heard the word beau. Apparently it's like a synonym for boyfriend. Quote, why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland? Glenn called out, prefacing his question by noting the Irish are known as happy, fun-loving people. Martin swayed and chuckled awkwardly in response. Trump acknowledged the question for him, saying, thank you, I like the question. Wow, dude. So he visited the White House, I guess, and they asked this guy the question. Holy Christ. Trump then turned to his Irish counterpart and asked him if he knew who O'Donnell was. Martin shrugged, smiled, and appeared to whisper, I don't know who that is. That's when Trump chimed in to say, you're better off not knowing her. Glenn, yeah, you're better off assuming you don't know who she is, honestly. I mean, Rosie O'Donnell's a really big, famous figure, so I would bet that he probably did, but just pretend you don't. That's for the best. The encounter comes a day after O'Donnell revealed she left the U.S. in January to move to Dublin with her 12-year-old daughter. She hinted in a TikTok that her move was at least partially due to Trump's return to the White House that same month. No, I think it was pretty clear. I mean, we listened to it. I don't think it gets clearer than that. By the way, the algorithm is hitting me hard right now, completely ignoring me. So I'd appreciate if you watched to the end of the video. Having increased watch time as a percentage and a raw number is what pushes the video further. Also check out my books, owenmorgan.com. All right, back to the video. It's been heartbreaking to see what's happening politically and hard for me personally as well, she said. The personal is political, as we all know. White House advisor Stephen Miller celebrated the departure of O'Donnell, a 62-year-old Long Island native, by telling Fox News' Sean Hannity on Tuesday night that Trump forced her to self-deport. Jesus Christ, dude. It wasn't explicitly one of our campaign promises, but it's a major first 100-day achievement, Miller said of O'Donnell moving. So you're welcome, America. You don't have to worry about that problem anymore. What problem? What was the problem? The problem is that she was on the left. Whatever else you think about her, the problem is that she held beliefs that this guy did not agree with. And he's glad that the problem of dissenting opinion is disappearing. Trump and O'Donnell's beef goes way back to '06, an entire decade before Trump ever won a presidential primary. O'Donnell was co-host of The View at the time and sounded off against Trump amid a Miss USA controversy. O'Donnell said back then she did not enjoy Trump and claimed he went bankrupt. She went on to say he was not a self-made man, but was instead a snake oil salesman on Little House on the Prairie. Oh, absolutely, of course, yes. None of that is in dispute. Yes, absolutely. He's not a self-made man. He is a snake oil salesman. And he did go bankrupt. What is up in the air about this? She added he left his first wife, had an affair. He had kids both times, but he's the moral compass for 20-year-olds in America. Donald, sit and spin, my friend. Trump fired back shortly after an interview with People in which he referred to O'Donnell as my nice fat little Rosie. That is just, like, really low. Rosie will rue the words she said, he said. I'll most likely sue her for making those false statements, and it'll be fun. Rosie's a loser, a real loser. I look forward to taking lots of money from my nice fat little Rosie. That is just really weird and creepy.
I will tell you this. Barbara's not thrilled. Rosie's a loser. There's no question about that. People know it. People that know her know it. And I assumed that it was over. She got beaten up pretty badly, and then she wrote a blog. Now, she didn't mention my name at all because she's gutless. But she's a person that, frankly, Barbara Walters, she resurrected her. And I will tell you this. Barbara is not thrilled about it because I spoke with Barbara. Barbara is not a fan of Rosie. That I can tell you.
Like, why did Anderson Cooper have him on?
But I don't think Barbara's going to admit that.
Yeah, publicly
Barbara is not a fan of Rosie.
Publicly, Barbara Walters has put out a statement basically saying that she's a friend of yours, but that she likes having Rosie on The View. You think that's not the case?
Well, what else is she going to say? And
Jesus Christ, dude. He's just low. Just really low. Their feud continued on and off over the years that followed, but became a national spectacle once again when Trump entered politics. His first mention of O'Donnell as a candidate came during the first Republican primary debate after he was asked about his use of words like fat pigs, dogs, and slobs to describe women.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
What? Why is that funny? Yes, you called people that you don't like. You're proving the point. Are you serious right now?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, and as she aptly points out, no, it wasn't just Rosie O'Donnell.
Your Twitter account...
Thank you.
For the record, it was well beyond Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Your Twitter account has several disparaging comments about women's looks.
Anyway, yeah, like he's just bottom of the barrel. Here's another example of him hitting Rosie.
But this is a man who has called women pigs, slobs, and dogs, and someone who has said pregnancy is an inconvenience to employers, who has said women don't deserve equal pay unless they do as good a job as men. And one of the worst things he said was about a woman in a beauty contest. He loves beauty contests, supporting them and hanging around them.
Yeah, actually, he owns Miss Universe, right? And he bragged about going to a youth beauty pageant and just walking in the back and standing around while all the girls are changing, right? Like really disgusting shit. Honestly, I feel like I'm kind of putting myself like in the line of fire right now.
And he called this woman Miss Piggy. Then he called her Miss Housekeeping because she was Latina. Donald, she has a name.
Where did you find
her name
Where
is
did you find
Alicia
this?
Machado.
Where did you find
and
it?
she has become a U.S. citizen, and you can bet she's going to vote this November.
Okay, good. Let me just tell you.
Mr. Trump, we're going to take 10 seconds and then we're going to have a final question.
Hillary is hitting me with tremendous commercials. Some of it said in entertainment. Some of it said somebody who's been very vicious to me, Rosie O'Donnell. I said very tough things to her.
They're not tough things. You weren't tough. You were a fucking scumbag. Distinct difference. Anyway, here's the end of the Daily Beast article. Hillary's hitting me with tremendous commercials, Trump responded. Some of it I said in entertainment. Some of it I said to somebody who's been very vicious to me, Rosie O'Donnell. I said very tough things to her, and I think everybody would agree she deserves it, and nobody feels sorry for her. O'Donnell responded by throwing her full support behind Clinton and declaring that her foe would never be president. Her fear came true shortly after, however, with Trump's surprise win. O'Donnell responded to the results after Election Day by writing on Twitter, "God help us all." I think we can all kind of relate with and connect with that sentiment now. Just take a look at this Reddit post. This person says, her feud with Trump is actually how I truly learned about Trump when I was a kid. I didn't watch The Apprentice since I was like 11 or 12 when it debuted and only heard the "you're fired" catchphrase, but their feud was heavily documented in the 2007 press. Yeah, same. This is exactly the same as me. I think I knew about Rosie O'Donnell before. She's a lesbian, by the way. He just said terrible things about her, how she was fat, ugly, how he could take her wife. That is disgusting and dark. Don't blame her a bit for leaving. Don't blame her a bit for leaving. She's done all that she could do to warn the US about Trump for ages, and she's probably in danger if she stays here. 100% agree. Absolutely. Called her a fat pig and a bunch of stuff. Oh my God. This person says she was one of his first adversaries even before his political career. Good for her. That's true. Although, his political career has been going on for like a long time. He's been talking about running for president since like the 90s. And every time the moment looks just right, he starts some ridiculous firestorm. The fact that it started in '07 tells me that he might have been trying to get attention around that time because there's a big election coming up. There's going to be a switch to a different president because George Bush couldn't run again, that type of deal.
I miss my other kids. I miss my friends. I miss many things.
Yeah, you have to completely destroy your life to move at all, let alone to another country. I don't blame her, like, not even a little bit, for her decision to leave. Like, Trump hates her, is like really disturbing stuff. Trump posted this to his Twitter account or whatever recently, just the other day. This is on March 9th. A picture of a pink triangle with an X through it or whatever. People who are unfamiliar with like Nazi Germany era may not realize, but there were a lot of different badges people had to wear. People had to wear gold stars. Jehovah's Witnesses had to wear purple triangles. Criminals wore green triangles. Communists or political prisoners otherwise wore red triangles. And Jews were given 2 gold triangles, which they sewed one on top of the other upside down to make a Star of David. And they wore these badges in concentration camps. Pink was for gay people. That is real disturbing shit. He posts a picture of a pink triangle. I mean, I feel that's a pretty clear message, right? Anyway, I think Rosie O'Donnell is totally justified in leaving.